Okay, and it's going to be kind of aggravating because this is happening wirelessly now, so um, I had to switch to my Chromebook in order to just to finish this episode out, which I'm going to admit I'm very frustrated at the moment. This was doing this earlier to me today, so I have to be careful, I guess, in how long I'm on that system or something like that. And the thing is, I wasn't having that much problems with it last couple of weeks, so um, it looks like I'm going to have to upgrade the RAM in this thing. So until then, we'll finish it out on this. You were talking about consoles that you'd had, classic consoles and everything else.
Let me see. Yeah, I was talking about the consoles that I had. I can't remember exactly where I went with that. I explained that I had an Atari 2600, a PlayStation. Um, where was I going with that?
You
Oh, I
were
was talking about my machine that I was building, because you had just talked about eventually getting in the system with an AMD APU in it. What I was talking about, what I was getting towards, was that when I built this machine, when I was deciding on what I wanted to put in there and for the hardware, I was I basically did some research for about a year because I wasn't sure exactly what was going to meet my needs, and I didn't know much about computer hardware in general, so I did a lot of research, did a lot of learning. It's helped me up until now. I still remember pretty much everything that through scouring forums, and all kinds of other stuff, reading about specific pieces of hardware and stuff like that. My original plan was I was going to buy an AMD A8 APU and use it for a gaming desktop. And my plan changed, obviously, because I've got an 8-core beast in here and a full dedicated GPU. But my original plan was to have an A8 and have hybrid graphics working in that. But I didn't have to worry about the issues with that, so I got this instead.
And I moved up with various AMD products, and now I don't have any AMD products. Um, so one day perhaps I will again at some point, but for now I've got to do the best with what I have. Everything else. And speaking of money, guess what came in the mail recently?
I saw that on Google Plus earlier this afternoon.
Um, it's basic. Well, I'm going to just try to cover this up. It's basically a MasterCard, is what it is.
Oh, okay.
And hopefully I covered up enough of the account number to where nobody really can use it. Um, it's pretty nifty, and it connects to your Google Wallet account. Looks like they're getting back into that kind of game again, competing possibly with PayPal. Google Play and Google Wallet balances are kept separate, though, from what I've noticed so far. So, so those of you using the Google Opinion Rewards thing, you won't be able to use it that way. But you can, however, email people money now, if you've noticed. So I may be exploring that avenue and seeing what happens with it. So it was free to get, so I was like, well, why not? And the design looks cool, and you can actually use your Gmail address now to kind of invoice people, I guess, for goods and services. So it's sounds like it's going to be an interesting thing. Now, if only they brought the little checkout system back. Maybe they haven't. I just don't know it yet. But they had checkout for a while, and then all of a sudden, boom, they removed it. So kind of off on a tangent here, but we're going to go ahead and wrap this up before all of a sudden hard drive on the other system quits thrashing, and then boom, some sort of error pops up or something. Until I physically close that thing out and say, okay, this is done, I have a feeling it will not begin to archive it.
Still live as of this moment, I believe. Yeah, it's still showing live on Google Plus. So
Yeah, and so basically the only way is to wait for it to stop and then end it and then boom, which is, like I said, I'm frustrated, but I tried interviewing somebody earlier today and boom, was running. They couldn't see me at all or see the invite. So Google honestly needs to let people with the Hangout do Hangouts on air through the Hangouts app, period. Because doing it through the web browser is great, but there's a problem in that it does it you can do video calls with Hangouts, but it doesn't archive them, which is useless if you're in media. If you're just talking to somebody, it's fine, but it's useless if you're just doing some sort of publishing or what have you. So hopefully they get that fixed soon, or maybe and you can't even send them feedback through the Google Play Store because it sends you an automatic response saying this is a no reply email. Here's some links to go to, which is not very helpful. We'll see what happens with the next episode. Maybe by then we'll have more RAM, and then I'll discover I just need a different system or something. I don't know. But that is absolutely frustrating.
I can understand. That's one of the reasons why I ended up building a PC. As the laptop that I had before this was the other AMD system that I had. I had constant problems with it. It had 4 gigs of RAM. It had plenty of RAM. The hard drive wasn't bad. It was just I think the main board in it was shot. So I needed something different, and I wanted a gaming PC, so I built this. And for the money, I paid roughly for this, the mouse that I have here, which I bought before I built the PC, the monitor, which is now fried. I have a separate monitor now. Overall, I think it was just a little under $1,000. So I mean, it was pretty high-end budget, but I got what I wanted, and it's lasted for a couple of years.
That's good. So basically, we're going to end this episode as soon as the other becomes available. What I will do is pull the video from that, merge it with this one, and then I'll be able to basically oh man. So I'm going to be doing a bit more editing than I anticipated, but that's okay. So entertain yourself, educate yourself, empower yourselves. And for goodness sakes, if you're going to be doing or video through Hangouts on air, make sure you have plenty of RAM.